Hey, James! What's going on?
Hey, Anton. Oh yeah, the 6 feet. Hey man, it was good seeing you the other week.
Your son has grown so much. I bet soon he can get a full-time job.
Anton, he's not 16, he's 4.
Potatoes, potatoes.
So what you been up to lately?
So I found this Facebook group that follows these steps to achieve FIRE.
Like, you go looking for lighters and matches? Because I don't think you need a Facebook group for that.
No, man. FIRE stands for Financially Independent and Retire Early.
Okay.
It's like, you know how you're always stressed out because you absolutely hate your job?
Yeah, because my boss is an asshole, and you know I need the money to pay the bills.
So imagine you buy a chicken that lays golden eggs.
Okay.
So you keep taking care of the eggs and the chicken, and you keep growing the little chicks into more chickens that's gonna lay you more golden eggs. You keep doing that to the point that you have enough golden eggs to cover your living expenses.
Okay, yeah, okay, but where do I get those chickens?
Dude, that's not the point. It's not about the chickens. The chickens are just a metaphor for an income-generating system. That could be real estate, stock market, whatever that can grow your wealth exponentially to the point that you don't need to work anymore. And potentially you can retire early.
So there is a chance I can tell my douchebag of a boss to kiss my...
Yes. And then you can go to the beach with me and we can finally have a beer together.
I'm in. Man, I'm so in. How do I sign up to this Facebook page that sells golden chickens?
I gotta teach you a lot. Come on, get in. Bye, James. Have a good one. I'll call you later. Were you here the whole time? Yeah? Well, in that case, go down and hit the like button for all those acting skills, or lack of them to be more precise. Come on, go on. It's the thumbs up. Make it light up red. There you go. Thanks. What's going on, and welcome back. Today, get ready to indulge on something that the future you will kiss you for, love you for, and definitely thank you for. Well, I think it goes without saying that we all want to live a longer, happier life without the worries and the struggles of putting food on the table and having a roof over our heads. True, but now let's take it a step further. How about a life where you don't have to work? Now you may if you want to, in case you love your job or something like that, but it's not a heavy load that's pulling you back away from your passions or occasional trips with your family to the beach. Yup, and now let's bump it up another level. How about a life where you retire at 30 or 40 and you do whatever the heck you want for the rest of your life, and then also you have enough money to left over for your next generation. If you are a financial nerd like me, then you might have heard already about this FIRE movement, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And if you're completely new and you're hearing about this concept for the first time, well, you are in the right place. And if by the end of the video you still have no idea how to achieve FIRE, in that case, I advise you just to go back and re-watch this whole video. Okay, so this FIRE movement consists of 2 parts. The FI, which stands for Financial Independence, and the RE, which stands for Retire Early. My personal goal is the first part, the FI, the Financial Independence, since I'm lucky enough to love my career and not want to or need to retire early. My main target is to have invested enough wealth to live off, and especially if there's another virus that's gonna decide to flip this planet upside down. Again, even though outbeating 2020 I think will be very difficult. And the following part is very important to understand because we're gonna start by establishing your FIRE number, which is actually the amount of money you need to have by the time you choose to retire and maybe start traveling the world. The FIRE number is calculated by taking your annual expenses and multiplying them by 25. Why 25, you ask? Well, because once you've reached your FIRE number or the FIRE amount by investing into assets, you will be able to take out 4% every year to live off and yet still never run out of money money because the principal balance will continue working with the power of compound interest. I know what you're wondering, how can you jump onto this train? Well, since everybody's financials and living situations are different, the FIRE community has come up with 5 main types of FIRE, each different to the next with respect to the process and obviously the outcome. So let's see which one relates to you. And say hello to James one more time. He loves long walks on the beach, occasional back rubs, and wants to retire at a younger age. If he belongs to the first type of FIRE, called traditional FIRE, with the objective to have enough income-generated assets to cover his current expenses. Basically, the very definition of FIRE that I had explained earlier. If James spends and expects to continue spending around $40,000 each year, we multiply that by 25, and his traditional FIRE number that he will be trying to hit is $1 million. In order for him to really focus on retiring much earlier, he will have to cut down his expenses and try to increase his income while maximizing his investments. But now let's see what it would look like if James would fit the second type of FIRE, called the lean FIRE. Lean type of FIRE is different to the traditional type in the way that James would be able to cut down his expenses drastically while focusing on bare essentials, meaning he stops going out for dinners, buying new cars every few years, and shops around for better phone plans and car insurance. That way he can bump his expenses down to $30,000 a year, and if we multiply that by 25, his lean FIRE number is $750,000, assuming he's still happy and does not require to inflate his lifestyle when he reaches that number. Having $750,000 versus $1 million, like in traditional FIRE, is a big difference, but also being able to save a big chunk of your income by saying no to your boys when they drive up to your house to go out for drinks can be even more difficult for some. Lean FIRE is perfect if you are a minimalist and truly do not require a whole lot to be happy. Smaller expenses equal fast track to retirement and less ties to the physical world. And this is exactly why there are different types of FIRE for people with different interests and tolerances. Without further ado, let's jump to our third type of FIRE, which is called Fat FIRE. And Fat FIRE means that you are preparing for a more extravagant retirement, where the expenses are way above than what we had observed in previous two types. Let's pretend James wants to achieve Fat FIRE. He wants to have a boat and a bigger house, so the amount he's planning to spend annually after retirement is going to be $80,000 a year. We multiply that by 25 and his Fat FIRE number is $2 million. Obviously, reaching $2 million in savings assures you more wiggle room at retirement, more lavish vacations, and more bottle popping with your boys. But it will take you way longer to achieve, or it will require a much higher paying salary up until retirement. And the fourth type of FIRE is called Barista FIRE. And the Barista FIRE means having saved enough to no longer have to work a full-time job and choose to work part-time instead, hence the name barista. If James wants to quit his 9-to-5 job because of his douchebag boss, but would still like to pick up another gig for the sake of health insurance, why not? His annual expenses are still going to be $40,000 a year, and multiplying that by 25 makes his normal FIRE number $1 million. For Barista FIRE number, we take 50% of that, making it $500,000. As he continues to work part-time, hopefully on the things that he's passionate about, or even, as I said before, just for the sake of health insurance. Not judging. And the last and final type of FIRE that I'm going to talk to you today about is called the Coast FIRE. And the Coast FIRE is the most passive type of achieving FIRE, and it actually does not even focus on retiring early at all. It's done by investing a big chunk of money at an earlier age so that your investments can ride the power of compound interest to get your FIRE number at retirement age. For example, James is 30 years old at the moment. He wants to be financially independent, by retiring at age 65, and he wants to do it through Coast Fire. He expects his expenses to still be $40,000 a year, which means multiply by 25, he will still need $1 million by the time he retires. James will still need to invest $182,000 at the age of 30, and then just watch it grow at an annual rate of 5% for 35 years, without adding a penny to get his $1 million at 65 years of age. And one thing to keep in mind when pursuing Coast Fire is even though your investments will be doing most of the work for you on the back end, you still need an active income source for the 35 years up until the retirement to cover your expenses. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video and you still haven't smashed the like button, it's okay, I forgive you, because you're gonna go down and you're gonna do it right now. Very good. So have you figured out what type of fire would suit you? Of course, it will depend a lot on your current living expenses, on your income, on your ability to save, and your knowledge of how to invest, which are the exact this channel's focuses in order to get you to your fire number sooner. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.